was thinking, there's people who do the back office work, and it's back breaking that back office work, and sometimes this is never showcased. That's why even when you saw the preparations, we tried to show you some of the work that we do overnight, just to prepare the books, move the things, logistics. And there's someone who did not sleep much, and he had to juggle between his work, his family life. He also have got a full-fledged farm for God, um, and he had to dissect himself in many little sections and pieces so that he can balance things. And he also gave us the accommodation, and that's Brother Justin. So, Brother Justin, um, when I was talking to you, you said you may not have a lot to say. I think in what I've already said, there's plenty there. Brother Justin did not get a chance to be on the streets, but there is a lot that God did with him. Brother Justin, please share your story.
Okay, I'll just take a couple of minutes. I think, basically, Talent called me earlier on today, and I think I told him that I would feel a bit of a fraud for joining, but he disagreed with me, because you are out there doing all this work, and as you so rightly say, people traveled from such distances to come and join, which was such an inspiration. But he said that I think, is it Corinthians talks about having some apostles, some whatever, some gifts of healing, some helps. And maybe in this particular project, I was more of a help than any of the evangelism that was being done. But I hope it was still being useful. And actually, to be honest, although it's me speaking here, I'm kind of representing Serene and Mario, and I think Fran and Richard are neither on this call as well. So those people who obviously stay at the farm longer as well. So it's just, I guess the only really point, or the main point I would like to make, is that primarily, of course, you traveled from the distance, you came, you distributed all the literature, you're having amazing conversations, you're trying to spark off ideas in people's minds. And really, at the end of that time, obviously, you have to then distribute back to where you're from. But you kind of leave a legacy of being here, not just in the minds of the people you met, but in the sense of a kind of evangelistic cycle where that is almost like a phase one. And it is now the duty of people like Patrick, people like Rhoda. I know some of you on this call, myself, Marcella, Dorothy, Fran and Richard themselves, to kind of make sure that it doesn't stop there. And so with that inspiration, with that connectivity that you provided, I was talking about this at length with Marcella at the weekend, because we were going down to Wales, and we were saying, we need to make sure that inspiration that you provided is the kind of kickstart for something more strong within the Scottish area, which has been lacking for so long. So as I say, we've been putting our heads together and trying to say, okay, how can we make that the stage one? That means that stage 2, 3, 4, we're actually regularly out there, regularly distributing books, regularly starting people, and also having meaningful places and meaningful platforms, venues, either online or physically, for people who are genuinely interested, who really want to know more about the Bible. We had an Iranian woman last Friday. In fact, it was going to be tonight as well, just about an hour ago, who wanted Bible studies. Her English was a bit poor, so we've decided to meet her face to face. But she was met at, I think, the Paisley, or was it the Glasgow time you met? So all these people that you've met, they are starting to get back in contact, several of them. And as I say, it's our duty here to do the follow-up work and to keep them on with the Bible studies. So, and it's exciting. So as I say, this Iranian lady, good example, you might not even have been aware that she wanted to know more, but it was your work that God used to inspire her to know more about the Bible. Now she has an avenue to follow. So so keep it going. If there's any more, I'm sure we can try and provide whatever resources, whether it's accommodation, whether it's logistics, whether it's prayer, whether it's funding. We all try and come with whatever we can offer, whatever God has provided at that particular moment. So we praise God ultimately, as my brother Samuel said at the beginning, but we also thank you for your commitment, definitely. And that's probably where I'll leave it. But just as a final resource, for those of you who came to the farm, I'll just say one more thing. I have had issues in the past where people have call me a little bit irresponsible because I have a family member who stays with me who needs care, and she doesn't always tend to cope too well with people being around. For those of you who arrived at the farm, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I just truly strongly believe that as long as you trust God and put everything towards him, yes, she had the struggles throughout that time, but when everybody left, when things had calmed down, goes straight back to the way it was, and there's no harm done. So sometimes you get some challenges and some pressures here, there, and everywhere. But at the end of the day, we can just put that in the hands of God. He'll take care of it, and you just carry on doing what we're called to do. So yeah, thank you for the opportunity of saying that.